Hey barbecue fans, welcome to a beautiful day on the Frankaboo Ranch. Okay, so as we are getting into football season, around the Frankaboo Ranch, football season is a pretty big deal. We like to tailgate all day long, and since we're on the East Coast, our football starts at 1. But when we were on the West Coast, we held season tickets to the Arizona Cardinals, and we would show up to the field at 7 a.m. So I would start planning the meals, the snacks, everything around that start time. And one of the most favorite things I used to enjoy making is a bacon barbecue fatty. Now, this one's a breakfast one. It'll go great with your early morning breakfast or midday brunch, if you will. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take some sausage, roll it out, make it nice and flat. We're going to make a bacon weave. We're going to wrap that around it, and then we're going to stuff it with some eggs, some sautéed red onions, some fire roasted hatch green chilies, some cheese, and then of course we're going to throw some barbecue in there. I've got some leftover chopped brisket. I know it's a rare thing for a lot of you guys out there, but here at the ranch I do have a lot of leftovers. So then we're going to roll this thing up, and we're going to cook it at 325 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes until the internal temperature reaches 165. Once there, we're done, and we're going to eat good. So let's go ahead and get started on this thing. So I use parchment paper. That way it won't stick. Let me get my gloves on here. Let's turn that over so the roll is down. Now, when you're rolling this out, once you start playing with the sausage, it'll start sticking to your gloves. So you notice I've got a little bowl of water here, right here. I'm going to keep my gloves wet or just damp, so that way the sausage doesn't stick to it. And I can actually, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to start with the bacon weave first. What am I thinking? Bacon weave goes on the very outside. So we're going to start this. Scissors obviously are dull. Don't treat them like knives. Alright, so now you can make this in numerous, however big you want it. I'm not making this one very big today. I'm going to go kind of small. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to go 4x4 on the bacon weave. 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to do a weave across. I'm going to go every other one, lift up, and go the opposite direction actually, since we screwed that up. I'm going to go this way, and then we're going to pull it this way. And we're going to lay this guy down here. I may wind up cutting off the ends of these to make them go across the other end a little bit easier. And now I just realized I'm using maple bacon, which I specifically picked out in the store because it goes better with this recipe. Okay, I'm going to put that one down. And you notice I'm alternating. Every other piece of bacon, or every other time I do the weave, I use the inside two and then the outside two. We're going back and forth like that. We're going back and forth to make it an actual weave. There. And then we're going to go back to this one and back to this one. Actually, it comes out just perfectly here. There and there. Okay, so that's my bacon weave. These guys are a little bit long on the end, but it's going to come out just fine anyway. All right, so I'm going to only make it that big. So this is going to be small. When I was doing this for the Arizona Cardinals, or when we had tickets for the Arizona Cardinals, I'd use at least two things of the sausage, because we had probably 15 plus people at our tailgate site every week. We had the security guards come over. The only thing we didn't get the entire time we were there, which I was kind of surprised, is some players. We had former players come by. And my goodness, my scissors are dull. Okay. I think those scissors will be winding up in the trash when I'm done with this here. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to get my gloves just a little bit wet so that the grease from the fat from the sausage doesn't stick to them. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to lay it out over top of the bacon. And we're going to stretch it down on the ends. And you can see one roll is probably enough for 2 people, maybe 3 at best. So if you've got more people at your tailgate, if you're planning on more people, use 2. If you really want to go big, use 3. Pretty easy. All right. nice and laid out there. All right, so let's start with some onions. And then we're gonna go with our eggs. I soft scrambled these eggs because they are gonna cook more in the once it's in the cooker. Okay, and let's get some bacon or some brisket up in here. And the brisket's gonna give it a nice smoky flavor from the inside, along with that amazing brisket flavor. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my gloves off right now. And we're going to do some fire roasted hatch green chilies. Okay. I'll use one more glove. And you don't have to do a breakfast one. You can stuff these things with just about anything. Do a dinner one. This isn't going to work. My hands are too sweaty. You can do like spinach, sour cream, or cream cheese, spinach, cream cheese, bacon wrapped. Any of that's going to just be absolutely amazing. All right, last but not least, not very shy, we're using our cheese. All right, now comes the fun part. Now we roll it up. So this is why we're using the parchment paper. So hopefully the bacon ends don't stick too much. There we go. I'm going to pull this back just a little bit to marry these edges. All right. I got a little bit overstuffed here. Not a big deal. The bacon's going to really hold it all in anyway. Okay. Just leave it just like that. We're going to roll these in. Okay. We're going to roll this one up. And this one back this way. Here, tuck the ends in, just like that. Okay, now we're just going to give it a little roll. Shape it, and there we go. Bacon fatty. Now, like I said, this is going to take about 35 to 45 minutes to cook. Now, if you want to, you can also season it with some seasoning. Since I'm using the maple bacon, I'm just going to go without the seasoning today, a basic unflavored bacon. I would use some type of seasoning, but I like the maple on these with the breakfast style anyway. All right, so our cooker is all set at 345 degrees. And we are going to take it and set it right in here. And just use the parchment paper to roll it off, because if you try to pick it up, it's likely to come apart. And you don't want that. All right, so we're gonna let that thing cook for about 35 to 45 minutes, and we'll be back when it's done. Okay, barbecue fans, here we are at the end of our fatty cook, so let's go ahead and grab this thing off the smoker. All right, this thing smells absolutely amazing. The main part that you can really smell is the maple bacon. It smells fantastic. It really seems to bring this whole thing together. So let's go ahead. Let me put a glove on here so I don't burn myself to death. I'm going to go ahead and slice off the end. And then let's take a nice little slice here. You can see we've got all the stuffing just wrapped up there beautifully. And this is, like I said, this is a really great, simple tailgating meal you can do for all you guys that are on the West Coast early in the morning. If you want to do it for any time other than tailgating, it's still just a fantastic thing to do. Real simple. I highly recommend it. So this is going to be our first in several tailgating foods for football. And until next time, guys, keep on smoking it.